Yo, we about to get back into politics and the Bible. Today we're gonna be reading a little bit of Huey P. Newton book called Revolutionary Suicide. Now, the purpose in making these videos is to show people the connection between politics, more specifically revolution, okay, and what Christ did, okay. So and nobody knows who Huey P. Newton is. This man was the leader of the Black Panther Party, and I'm gonna just read a couple things out of his book and show the similarities between him and Christ. Okay, or his fight and Christ's fight. All right. Now this is out of his book, and he's talking about the Black Panther Party. It says the party urged members to challenge the status quo. Now, if you read the Bible, you understand that that's exactly what Christ did. Challenge the status quo. The Pharisees and the Sadducees were ruling at that time. The scribes, the lawyers, and he challenged them in their way of life. Okay, same thing what the Panthers did in America. Okay, and it says so basically, yeah. Let me go to the next page that I wanted to read. Okay, now if you don't know what revolutionary suicide is, revolutionary suicide is what Jesus did himself. Okay, and we'll get into that. Matter of fact, let me go to that. Okay, let me go to that. It says this is in his book. This is what Huey P. Newton writes. I do not think that life will change for the better without an assault on the establishment. Okay, now Christ put an assault on the establishment. Okay, if you know it or not. Okay, because what he did was he started healing people, and at that time they were charging people to heal people. Okay, he started feeding people. Okay, at that time they were charging for food. Okay, he was feeding for free. Okay, so anytime you take money out of the establishment's pocket, that's an assault on the establishment. Okay, this is what Huey P. Newton continues to say. Thus, it is better to oppose the forces that would drive me to murder myself, because a lot of people in this society commit suicide because of the the um, the system itself. Okay, and the way these men have driven this world to be. Okay. So he said it's better to oppose these forces that would drive me to murder myself than to endure them. Okay. And a lot of Negroes, and when I say Negroes, I mean all people. A lot of Negroes endure it and just say, well, we're going to leave it in God's hands without knowing that God working through you if you claim to be a servant of Christ. Okay. That you need to be doing something if God working through you. Okay. Although I risk the likelihood of death. Okay. Now, when you oppose the forces, you risk the likelihood of death. Okay. And Christ lets you know that. Okay. And I believe Matthew 10, if I'm not mistaken, he says, you will be delivered before rulers. You will even be killed for my name's sake. Okay. Now he says, although I risk the likelihood of death, there is at least a possibility, if not the probability, of changing intolerable conditions. The possibility is important because much of in human existence is based upon hope without real without any real understanding of odds. Indeed, we are all black and white alike, ill in the same way, mortally ill. But before we die, how shall we live? And that's the question that I pose to people that claim to keep Torah. Before you die, how you gonna live? If you just gonna say I keep a Sabbath and feast days, I gave a poor man a couple of dollars here and there, and think that's how you're supposed to live, or you gonna put your life on the line in what this man calls revolutionary suicide, what Christ and the apostles experienced was revolutionary suicide. They didn't just sit at home and keep Sabbaths and say, well, we keeping Torah and feed a couple of people. Okay? And I'm going to show you what I mean. Okay? But let me continue. It says, how shall we live? Before we die, how shall we live? I say with hope and dignity. And if premature death is the result, that death has meaning. Reactionary suicide can never have meaning. If you opposing the forces that be, that create these illnesses in the world, that create people being so mentally broke down to where if they lose all their money, they commit suicide. If you're opposing these ways, okay, the death of killing yourself because you lost money is nothing. But the death in you fighting for righteousness is worth everything. Okay. What? No, Jamal, I'm doing something right now. What? No. When I'm down here doing something, that's why I told y'all to go upstairs. Okay? Go. Oh my gosh.